Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11 and a whole bunch of mods. We're going to continue this. We are shifting, I think. Forces down here. Okay. They haven't moved yet. They need them. And can these guys also get on board? No, I don't want to use you. Rebase down to here. That's the headquarters. The core headquarters. Love these heavy transports. They come down there. Okay, we have two big sets. Let's see which one. There we go. 7th Fleet Corps. Now, let's look to our, well, let's see if we can grab something from the Cast Corps. They're not organized, so let's send you guys somewhere to get organized up. There we go. Okay, they're good. Man, let's find a bit more bombing. Here too. There we go. I think that'll be good. There we go. Oh, we're gonna need supply down here. It's gonna take a while to get there. So let's see, what can we do with well, before we do that, let's okay, you're down there, that's good. You're already down there too. You're flying down there, good. But yeah, thinking it might have another longer range option. Fly into here. You're sending supplies through to these ports. Argentina. Nope. High explosive anti-tank. That's a one and done, yes, so. Increase piercing small ship. Radar has advanced. And fire control solutions and AA solutions. Well, let's see if we have something else we can see about pushing ahead on. Playing radio communications, I guess we'll do that. We have the ability to upgrade the 151st or 155th Division. We want to reorganize it, or no? Yes, we want to do it. Costs us a little bit of supplies, but it should be out there on the map. There we go. And this is one that gets improved over time, but we're still a training ersatz type unit. But it is motorized, so it doesn't move very fast because it's militia, but it will get organized over time, so don't really want to change that. I'm deciding to ignore this game, at least so far. Obviously I haven't. I didn't understand exactly what these were at first, but what these do is, as you go through the steps through these levels of things, it will randomly put down big air bases places. So you know, I don't know, pick a spot. Oh, level 20 air base. You know, just so you can handle the large stuff. Well, that's sort of what it's set up to do for the AI, because the AI isn't building them effectively themselves and doesn't control it. So you don't get to control that, and it was thought to be too much of an exploit if you did. I don't know that I need a bunch of random air bases, and I believe you're still paying for them. So let's come over here and let's do artillery units. Research. Okay, airborne. Nope, can't get to there. Didn't think it could. Air supply, one province away. Hopefully it'll start dropping in some fuel and stuff to get here a little quicker. Not sure if that works, but this is some moving down via trucks, camels, I don't know. How's revolt risk? Doing pretty good. Once these guys get settled out here, that'll help. Colombia, oh, Venezuela, no. These guys are heading off down here to hopefully raid convoys effectively. And thick pressure holes for our submarines. And that's a one and done. Okay, so that we will shift over here for armor unit combined arms. Let's do that. More supplies down here. Because we want to be able to apply things. Okay, twin engine airframes advanced. That's good. And that's done for now. So we'll shift this as well over here. And naval strike tactics. And we'll let these go. fuel? Sure, you can have some fuel. And we're really good on supplies right now, so... Well, yeah, no, that's right about where we should be. Just making a little more than we're using. Okay, not much in the way of supplies, but I think enough. Okay, let's just go for this here. Well, interception tactics advance. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I want this to get a little more organized. Brazil. No. We're not buying anything transatlantic yet. We need organization to be able to operate. We need supplies to get organization, which they're getting, but that needs to continue. How is Rommel doing down? Okay. You guys, you're getting your orders to attack from here, so you hopefully you won't. Retreat after. Uh-oh. The Swiss decided to revolt. Let's see if we can get a better combat unit there. That's why you have reserves. We're gonna move in the school, but it has no transport, so we've got to get it there on trains. An attack. They may just crumble, but they may not. We've won that. And they're still retreating slowly. Slowly, weather is bothering them. Terrain as well, of course. Okay, medium warship radar. That is grayed out. Okay, and these are all still sort of a little advanced state-wise, so you also, oh no, you want to get up. Yes, I know we've way overfilled you, but you should be able to. Oh, Romania asked to join the Axis. Okay. Welcome aboard. Thought you were already aboard, but yeah. Oh, yes. This one? Yes. There we go. Wanted to give them a... So now they both have good HQs. Ready for lightning fast operations out in the Caucasus is where I'm hoping they will be useful. They're getting better, they're getting better, and they're getting better. Supplies for Crete. Not at this time. Autarky. No. No. Okay, yeah, do we anticipate where they're all going to pop up? Yeah. Oh, no. Maybe here. We'll see about that. They're fighting. They're fighting. Okay. Deploy the 6th Flak Division. The 6th Flak Division was formed on the 1st of September 1941, which was posted into Brussels since the end of the Western Campaign. In 1940, the division was transferred to the northern sector of the Eastern Front on the April 42nd, under the command of Luftflotte 1. It ended the war in the Courland pocket. That is up here. This is Courland. The Germans held the peninsula quite very near the end of the war. End of the war. I mean, they held out there quite some time. Flak Division itself consisted, well, in partly the reason they held out is the German or the Soviets go, well, okay, we're driving towards Berlin. You know, it was sort of unimportant to push hard there. The Flak Division itself consisted of a divisional staff, a signal company, small number of supply units, therefore cannot be compared to regular Wehrmacht divisions. It has been mainly a coordination HQ for various and rapidly changing composition of flak regiments, battalions, and other units based on actual situation. The operational area of responsibility besides the defensive role of the flak unit protect air bases, ground organization of the Luftwaffe, and locations of importance to the Heer. The flak units were highly appreciated in supporting combined arms ground operations against enemy armored formations, pillboxes, and fortified units. The flak divisions were subordinate to higher Luftwaffe HQ. In most cases, a flak corps thus remained outside of the Heer's command of chain. As the flak divisions were recruited from a pool of anti-aircraft units, and their Reich Luftverteidigung, events will reduce the level of provincial AA in garrison towns from where the flak units were withdrawn to be sent to the various posts. That players can opt to retain the AA capacity in those towns by not choosing the flak units. Okay, now that's very good. Okay, very good information. What's going on there? So we have Hanover. No, that's Munster. Essen, Dusseldorf, Dortmund. Where? That's Hamburg. Yeah, Hanover. Sorry, Germans, if I'm. Here we go. Okay, so we have level 10 air units here in Hanover. We can get this, reduces officers, a little bit of manpower, some supplies, and level 1 reduce level 1 on in aircraft guns. And again, it's that -1 is what's important, not the lose. Could have been gained for all I know. Now, generally speaking, the AI will not bomb provinces that have level 3 or greater flak guns in. So I don't think we're going to effectively lose anything by doing this. So we will take this. Of course, we can replace the flak division. I don't know. Okay, so we're here in Belgium, like it said. Okay, so I don't know which would cost us more, building this from scratch versus building a flak unit, immobile flak unit. I would tend to think the immobile flak unit would be cheaper, but I'd have to look that up. And partly it's, well, the flak unit I think is a fixed cost, but the other, well, no, some buildings, I don't know. You know, no, buildings could be cheaper. I don't know. So obviously some of these are variable. But still, German truck transport's good, so we'll take that. And as they said, these are not like the later Luftwaffe ground divisions. Those are a different animal entirely. Those are a real coordinated attempt at a ground fighting unit. Where this is just, hey, it's a division for, you know, Oh, where do we send the pay? Well, the division for Soldier X or Unit X, they're attached to the 6th Flak Division. Or where do we send the mail? It's to the 6th Flak Division. Where do we send the supplies? You know, the anti-aircraft rounds? It's to the 6th Flak Division, and then they channel it to these units that could be, you know, presumably not smaller than a platoon size, but up to a regiment, that are assigned to other duties, you know, broken up. Oh, you know, because conf groups outside of what this game sort of does are constantly being formed and broken up, and those are just, and they can even be a conf group within a division, but traditionally that would just simply be, you know, a battalion of that division being supported by other divisional elements, artillery, anti-aircraft guns. Normally the idea of comp group is, hey, there's this battalion from one division, and oh, here there's a supply company from another unit. It's going to, you know, supply trucks to supply it. And oh, here's this local SS platoon that just happens to be here from some other division. We're going to assign that platoon. And oh, we're going to assign these for Sturmgeschütz from some other division to support this you know, just sort of mixing all these various units from different branches of the service to go do something presumably longer than a day, but you know, probably less than a month, to go do something for a while, and then you know, to defend or to attack or whatever. And so these were constantly happening. Now we have very significant historically ones that lasted much longer, and since I can't form these all the time, and often when they're formed historically, I'm not ready for them because, you know, that kind of thing. That's why I'm keeping the few that I have, you know, like von Thomas flak or Conf Group A here. So I'm keeping the few that I have, and they will continue to grow over time. And I don't feel bad about that because, yep, you get to go there now. And because they are combined arms units, they are very powerful for their size capability. Okay, so we remove Panzer Regiment from, okay, the 21st Panzer Division was formed in Africa from the 5th Lish Division in August 41. Oh, damn. Damn. There's the 5th Lish Division. Well. Okay, damn you. I mean, it was not in combat, true, and I could, and trust me, I was very close to cheating it. You come over here. That's definitely a better unit, and I want that unit, but it just, if I just known. Oh, wait a minute. Are we gonna get to keep this? I'm gonna decide to keep that either way. Because sometimes that'll disappear in a day, sometimes it won't. I say that because of history. By keeping it, I'm doing this just so we're mobile, and we have a battle commander. I don't know if we got slots attached to the Africa Corps, so we'll at least attach some of that to the Africa Corps. Yes, I want it. It's not bad. It's just bad that it happened when we were deep down in Ethiopia. Right when I didn't want to have that. I got one. Yeah, here we go. There we go. I may expand it more, but that's right now my heavy bombing force of, what are these? Ju-86Es. Okay, short range aircraft production is advanced. I think we're going to let that one continue too. Yeah, they're just all the 42s. Combined arms coordination has advanced. That is here. We're going to shift over to other 41 type unit-based improvements. Operation Pastorius, mein Führer. One of our loyal Abwehr leaders envisions a very bold plan to sabotage American industrial base. Admiral Yamamoto of Japan has put forth the notion that a sustained war with America cannot be won due to their broad industrial base. By sabotaging key targets in America, we could significantly hinder the ability of the American industrial base to convert to wartime footing, possibly slowing their ability to produce weapons of war. Light funding, medium funding, heavy funding. Okay, I like this. No funding, rather not do this. I'll probably talk about this more, but how do I put this? Probably nothing Germany could do sabotage-wise in an effective thing, at least based on the vague realities of the time period. We could hypothesize the German-American Bund, you know, the guys who, you know, the famous rally that they held in Times Square with the George Washington painting and other stuff. Those guys, that's a very innocuous sounding. Now, I have found a bunch of other stuff, including stuff going on in the time period of 36 to 45, particularly before the war, of a bunch of other German-American associations. Some of them using a bit of swastikas, but not heavily and not much. And a lot of these are like World War I veterans associations, you know, of Germans living in America, and other things, because there was, after the war in the 20s, partially because of the bad economic things, there was lots of German migration to the U.S. And part of it in the 30s was people leaving because they weren't Nazis and they didn't want to be in the Nazi world. But there were a lot of other German American type organizations that weren't part of Fritz Kuhn's German-American Bund. Could they theoretically have been organized in had, because Fritz Kuhn, let's face it, at best he was a marginal leader. He was, and it's on various elements of it. Everything I get from or about him is that he was no great leader, no great organizer, no great administrator, no great personality. You know, I've seen some film footage of him, so he wasn't some you know, and there's some you know, some personality that people were going to follow. Excuse me. I think the left-wing radical, but also supporting of Nazis and the fascists. The Father Coughlin and his group, his radio group, and who was pro-fascist and somewhat pro-Nazi, at least. And again, we've been talking, and I've been in this series examining what Nazism really meant. He is pro Christian fascist Germans, mistaking Nazis for being that. Father Coughlin, to the best of my understanding, and I am far from an expert on him, I just read a few, Wikipedia type articles, of a page or 3 long on him. He does seem a very honest believer in God and the church. But with heavy nationalists type and sort of heavy socialist type, so sort of fascist type views, as opposed to, but anti-communist, anti-people's owning the means of production. That's why he's going, but he's very left on a lot of social issues, but very, at least my understanding, very strong pro-Catholic Church element. So had he known what National Socialism really was, he would not have been a supporter of it. He would have been out condemning it, I do believe, but supporting Mussolini. So Father Coughlin was a much, and I don't know how good of an organizer he was. Again, I'm not an expert on it, but he had a real personality in his radio show, and people just emotionally got behind him and his message, and he convinced lots of supporters American-wide, and voting in some of the earlier elections in America for a more radical party than the Democrats on the left in America. That Fritz Kuhn's greatest, biggest, most voting supporter block of the German-American Bund would have gotten nowhere near the percentage of it. And remembering that there's lots of Germans living in America. The Pennsylvania Dutch are basically Germans in Pennsylvania, going back before the American Revolution and onward. So there's a real heavy strain of Germanness in America, and the German-American Bund had some impressive get-togethers and in some impressive stuff, and in some areas where around sort of greater New York and whatever, it was doing okay, but it was nothing like Father Coughlin. And to the best of my knowledge, the Silver Shirts, which I really don't know of a strong leader element there either, but the Silver Shirts of America, or in America or whatever, was the fascist movement that I understand was bigger than the German-American Bund. Maybe not, I don't know, in membership and impact, and they were bigger, and they looked towards Mussolini. So theoretically, if you were to have a better organization and sort of infiltrate Father Coughlin's organization, infiltrated the Silver Shirts enough, and had the German-American Bund, which they locked up a lot of the members, but quiet members out there of it, that you had a bunch of those people that would want to turn enemies of America, because you got to realize there's a lot of fascist type people that may support either Mussolini or Hitler or both, but oh, my country's now at war with them. Oh well, hell, I hate those. I'm my country first. I'll fight the fascists. The German-American Bund, because of its sort of German-American Bund element, you're going to find more people willing to be spies or saboteurs or whatever once you go to war. People like, I do believe, the great bulk of the Silver Shirts, but definitely people like Father Coughlin. I don't specifically know him, but I'm talking about the general members of his support group, would very much get behind America in a war with the fascists of whoever nation, because they're American sort of first, but politically this other thing, and might prefer being allied to Germany than against it, but once you're at war with it. So even if, so it's sort of a, because I'm trying to think also that, the British Union of Fascists, a lot of them, now if the Germans marched into London, that would have been different, but a lot of them sort of came out wanting to fight for Britain, as members, and a bunch of them weren't allowed to because they were thought to be dangerous, but they were sort of Britain's first, then fascists. So, but in the vague realities of the world and Father Coughlin and his Nazis, and anybody, as my understanding is this Operation Pistorius is the one that are launching a, I think they came ashore in Florida, maybe, if I remember, but putting ashore some German or American, or Germans who either lived in America for some time, or German Americans that are in Germany at the time, sending them to America to do sabotage. You know, I've seen some movies made during the war, some fairly early, some fairly late, and then maybe one or two even pre-America's interested in one of them, you know, wanting to get the Hoover Dam here. And if they had wrecked the machinery in it, I don't know that you could realistically carry a bomb that could blow it up. I mean, you know, I'm thinking, well, two or three big tanker trucks full of TNT could maybe do it, but that's an impractical get. You know, getting the trucks and getting them there, especially if you realize that they put massive security around Hoover Dam, and basically it was very hard to move through it, though people could still drive across it, just because it was sort of a bridge used, still to this day used as a bridge, but they were inspecting the vehicles. But you could have gotten a sabotage team in there and blown up some of the electrical generators. Oh, sure, yeah, you could have done that, and that would have affected things. But even if you did that and do a bunch of other things, you're not going to really affect the outcome of the war at all. And at best, you're going to sabotage some production facilities and make the U.S. add an additional layer of security and complication to production, which would slow down production. So slowing it down, disrupting it a bit, yes. Changing the outcome of the war, no. So we're just going to, and I don't know what the likelihood of any benefits of any of these, but we're going to do, okay, yeah, we can do this, but we're not going to do this very much. Form the 2nd Flak Division. Prepare our defenses. Was formed there. Okay. Leipzig. Let's check out Leipzig. This Leipzig. Oh, that's Dresden. This is Leipzig. Okay. Ooh, we only have one flak gun here. Oh, it is sort of east. And isn't that big of a thing. Okay, we'll take that. I'm going to build another one back. Okay, FU MG Fumug. I think they actually pronounce it that way. 62. Würzburg. The low UHF band Würzburg radar was primarily ground-based gun-laying radar for the Luftwaffe and the Heers during World War II. It initial development took place before the war, and the apparatus entered service in 1940. Eventually, over 4,000 Würzburgs of various models were produced. Several versions of the basic Würzburg system were deployed over the course of the war. One of the very first Würzburg assisted in shooting down an aircraft in May 1940 by orally relaying commands to a flak unit. Würzburg C featured lobe switching to improve aiming accuracy. The Würzburg D was introduced in 41, leading to a much improved accuracy. A Würzburg system at Brinville on the coast of France was captured by British paratroopers in Operation Bitting, while Operation Bellicose bombed the suspected Würzburg radar factory. Okay, yeah. Obviously, and as time goes on, and I know a little bit on the U.S., they actually got to the point that they could target, you know, aim the guns using the radar itself. Earlier, but even before that, in targeting, like a lot of the early British radar, you know, for at least most of the Battle of Britain classic, you know, 1940s era, the British radar couldn't tell the height of the incoming German fighter or bomber, whatever, units. They could see that they were coming. They could generally get a vague idea of the size of the incoming force. And they also had a lower or another radar system set up to see lower out to sea. Probably didn't see as deep, but just in case they were coming in at a low level. So that's why the British, not just, and originally I thought it was mostly a a cover story, having the spotters, but the spotters were used to give altitude. They had machines that just simple angle kind of things that you would adjust them to figure out the altitude and report that, and then reporting numbers and types. They may understand, oh, it's a large group, but is it 50 or is it 70 aircraft? And are they bombers or are they fighters? And or how many of each? That was all very important as well. So, and like I say, couldn't give altitude. Well, some of these Würzburgs could give altitude. You would then maybe know for your flak guns, oh, they're at a 2,000 feet. Set your bursting charges for 2,000 feet. And so even if you're not directly, aiming the gun, they were still very much using searchlights to target the aircraft coming in, and then the guns would zero in on stuff. So radar gain and that, great. We'll spend the supplies. Now, because we did this and I'm replacing it, we have until October 41, so that isn't too long. I think that's a little cheaper than that. And we just went over, so that because we got a bonus fit. Again, they doesn't notify you when if you through events throw radar or throw something over the edge, over the limit to go higher. And we could do that, but that's obviously way ahead, so we'll back off on that for now. It's halfway done. We may be worth doing it in 42 or something. We'll see. Well, avionics night. Okay, so we're gonna wait to the beginning of 42 and we'll jump into that. So yeah, switch over to that. Okay, and with all this talking, how are we doing here? Okay, we are continuing to build up. Build that slowly, but supplies. Uh-oh, major defeat. Okay, we've lost here. Okay, well, I'm sort of waiting to either lose or whatever. We're going to upgrade Nord Division, because I know we were going to lose that. Okay, Deedle's down here. You're going to get a promotion, Deedle. Well, you're getting pretty good, so, but we'll get somebody else to command you. Speaking of that, who do we want to do? No, not Luftwaffe, not Peterson, no, not Mendel. Oh, okay, you can have that. Forming another. Okay, you guys move forward. You can attach to there. That should disappear, yes. Is it not in the, is it in production queue? Yep, okay. Thought it would be on the map. Kirk nest, but either way, okay. It was shattered and we want to improve this anyways. We get them supplies for money, sure thing. Okay, you come back to here. You... Let's see, we're going to move... Yes, Falconhurst. And the Jaeger Division. Up to there, and it needs to be base, okay. You guys, roll. And you guys, patrol. That should give us a little better dealing with any subs that may decide to go after our supplies or otherwise. Okay, desert unit training, let's check that out. We still got lots of desert fighting in, but it's 42, so we'll cancel that. Light cruiser escort role, okay, naval. I don't want to completely stop naval group operation. We only have one carrier, but okay. Small ship. Main armament. We can do folding wings for our aircraft, which will help that out. And for some reason we have more, I'm not quite sure. I wasn't paying close enough attention to stopping something. That research, there we go. Yes, we'll go ahead with that. Yes, we want her. Let's attach a good sort of rating type guy. Submarine commanders work just fine for this if you want. We still have a few cadets. Oh, we lost one or two, I think. Okay, move one down here finally. Okay, well, then we probably don't need to continue moving the school over. Don't know if it's going to be hard fighting in the mountains with that unit. Okay, so the air base is full up. Let's... I think that will operate. Let's start pounding this guy. Oh, ground attack. Ground attack. Okay, airborne unit training is advanced. That is good. We're getting ready for an airborne operation. Now we're going to let that one go because again, we're getting ready for an airborne operation. Extra organization is very nice. Tactical Air Command. I'm going to see if this really helps because I normally have ignored some of these stuff before. Let's see how well they improve things when we use air operations like this. Okay, light cruiser crew training. Yeah, we'll switch over to commander decision making. Train your commanders to make better decisions. Okay. Small ship armor advance. That is good for our next batch of small ships. And yes, we will no longer have this. Okay, the USS Greer Incident. The Greer Incident occurred on the September 4th, 1941. By all accounts, a German submarine, later identified as U-652, fired upon the Greer but made no contact. When news of the encounter reached the United States, public concern ran high. Initial reports reported that a British aircraft aided in repelling the attack. In response, Germany claimed the attack had not been initiated by the German submarine. On the contrary, the submarine had been attacked with depth bombs pursued continuously in the German blockade zone and assailed by depth bombs until midnight. Communique implied that the U.S. destroyer had dropped the first depth bomb. Germany accused President Roosevelt of endeavoring with all means at his disposal to provoke incidents for the purpose of baiting the American people into war. Man, that sounds a whole lot like modern day Putin-esque rhetoric coming out of Russia, doesn't it? It isn't our fault that we have, and I haven't even finished reading this, but it isn't our fault that we have submarines operating out there and sinking ships. It's your fault for going out and trying to protect commerce, kind of thing. Hitler specifically cited the Greer Incident as a U.S. provocation in his declaration of war against the U.S. in December 41. The United States Department of the Navy replied that the German claims were inaccurate and that the initial attack in the engagement was made by the submarine on the Greer. Roosevelt made the Greer Incident the principal focus of one of his famed fireside chats, where he explained a new order he issued to the commander-in-chief that escalated American near to outright involvement in the European war, declaring that Germany had been guilty of an act of piracy. Roosevelt announced that what became known as his shoot-on-sight order, the Nazi submarines' very presence in any waters which American deems vital to its defense constitutes an attack. Yep, okay. So the U.S. is losing its neutrality and getting ready to go to war with us. Okay, come on. I want to see how you're bombing this guy. Okay. He's losing most all of his... And we're going to overwhelm him. This is our whole plan here, because I don't want to, we could get away with one division attacking him. We very well might. Like we may have killed the unit. That would be cool. Okay, combined arms integration. And this we will move over to mobile unit training. Saudi Arabia. You get it? Sure. Okay. So, pause. Flieger Corps. Airborne assault. Not organized well enough up yet, I guess. Aircraft, I wanted to check that out. Make sure I didn't send in the most organized first, and then not be enough, but I think we've killed this unit here. Well, we don't want to drop the headquarters, sorry. Airborne assault, see if that can go in. Yes, that's going in. Okay, and yes, oh, and these other, okay. So they both made it in. Okay, good. So we've secured a port. Great. Great, great, great. That's what we wanted to do. Building a port would have taken much longer. So we've been wanting to do that. Now that we've done that, where are our invasionable transports? Are they still way up here? Yeah, damn. Okay. Okay, well, let's move units of the most suitable nature. First, having units does not slow down transports. Okay, yeah, I'll take everybody we can. Oh, we can take everybody. Great. Okay, you guys, lightly escorted, but you come down to here. We're going to yeah, rebase. And you come, no, not you. Oh, you need to join these two. Gets another promotion. There we go. So now we have much better escorted. Come down. You're going to pick those guys up, and we'll see about a naval invasion. Yes, money or supplies for money. Yes, supplies for money. Great. And you guys can come down too. Oh, let's cancel some of these orders here. Stop. Stop. We kill them all with air power. Okay, we have a gate, and you're stopping because we don't want to. All of you guys. How big is this air base? Not that big. How big is this air base? 10. Okay, well, we don't want to move all of you. Here then. Well, we might as well just move you back up to here if we're going to have to move you again. No airbase where they landed, so we can't just immediately pick them up and fly them somewhere else. We'll get to Siemens here in a second. Yeah, you we will keep sort of in theater to some degree, put you up here. I would have, if it's, now it may not be doable or readily doable with the current engine, but I would change this so that the further aircraft move, the more disrupted they are to a point. Okay, Carl Friedrich von Siemens dies. He became the CEO of Siemens. Schuckert-Werk in Berlin in 1912 and chairman of the supervisory board of both Siemens Schuckert-Werk and Siemens Haus AG in 1919, and in his position he was responsible for the resurrection of the Siemens Group after the First World War. So we lose this leader potential, though I've never used him as a leader. We give him supplies for money, certainly. Not that I don't know his stats right offhand, but not that he's bad, just better choices. Well, that is not an SS unit. Whoever picks this picture, I think that's from Black Ice, is picking this picture. That is very much a pre-war Wehrmacht, or Heers, I should say, unit. But yeah. Maybe they just thought goose-stepping soldiers meant that they were SS. I don't know. And coming down here to command, that was, I think, this one, so we'll stop that. Yeah, the reduced attacks. Time between attacks is great. It's those Jaeger division. Oh, we need to make sure there's supplies flowing. Create a supply convoy. Let's come down to the bottom down here to, I think, Reykjavik. And to Port Sudan, the newest German-controlled port. That should be coming out through here. Yeah. The level 1, that's a level 4. But again, to the best of my understanding, the size of the port does not matter for sending of supplies. Size of the port very much matters for receiving supplies. So, you know, that is why we are seeing such bad results for Italy here, because of their, at best, limited. Okay, we're going to change the axis of attack. Here, you're going to keep going there, but then you're going to attack that way. Because we're almost doing well enough on his own here, since we lost that other division, which is where I wanted to move to here to strike that way. Okay, letter of Nicola Radescu. Nicola Radescu, a high-ranking general in the Romanian army, that would be this guy, I presume, has criticized our ambassador Manfred von Klinginger in a letter because of his constant meddling in Romanian affairs. Okay, little information about von Klinginger, and you want to make some more events involving him. I've known about him for some time. He found a nice picture of him hunting. He basically hated Bucharest as a city, liked getting out and hunting. So he was a big-time hunter. So I have some pictures, so I want to make someday make an event covering that. He was not very popular in Romania, and he's the ambassador to Romania from Germany. And remember, I've talked about earlier, he is one of the SA, I want to say Sturmbannführers, but maybe higher ranking, I forget, but a fairly high ranking, equivalent of basically of a general in the SA. And so he is very much promoting this Nazi view of the world to the Romanians, and being very sort of arrogant, if you will. Instead of being, you know, an ambassador, you know, you can have an ambassador who hates the country's guts that he's being the ambassador to, but he should be the charmingest person you can find, and make him believe that everybody, you know, he just dislikes some elements and but otherwise likes the people or whatever. You know, often, shall we say, like during the Cold War, a U.S. ambassador to the Soviet Union may not hate Russian people, but hates the Soviet Union with a passion. It should not come off as I'm here to hate and loathe you. It should be, hey, yeah, I'm, I'm really sort of a nice, pleasant bloke. Let's try to get along. And then, of course, he can constantly work to undermine you, but he should be a pleasant. Manfred here was not a pleasant, jovial person to the Romanians. Just that did not work out well, and in not working out well, about the time that Romania surrenders / switches sides, he goes into the German embassy and shoots his secretary and I think a few other of the German staff, and then shoots himself, basically because he wasn't going to live in a world that the Nazis weren't going to be ruling or something. So he, you know, sort of murder-suicide of his own staff with pistols at the end. So yeah, not the most pleasant fellow. And that's just about him. So we can say Antonescu can take care of this relations change by 5 with Romania, or we have more important things to do. PNC gains in organization popularity. We'll let Antonescu take care of this, I guess. PNC. Well, let's see who the PNC is. I'm not even sure who the PNC is. Okay. PNC is the Liberal Democratic position. Okay, we'll let Antonescu take care of this. It'll hurt our relations a little bit, but I think we're gonna do that, but we want to keep our support for our allies. Give them money. No, we're not doing that across the channel. And no. Well, might as well. Okay, can we go there now? Get marching. These guys won't be fast because they don't have any trucks. But they'll at least be able to move. Now here, okay. These guys here. Here. Transport here. Yeah, that's fine. We've got lots of choices to send down for a naval invasion down here, which will give it, open it up for the, we give them money for rare materials. Okay, sure. Bulgaria, yes, you may have all the energy you want. All the energy your hearts could desire. Okay, African recruitment. Allows construction of. Can we actually produce those? No, but it does sort of open them up. To at least I don't, yeah. But what it does do is, no, not at the moment. Okay. Okay, undersea found it. The 22nd Undersea Boot Flotilla was founded on 11th September 1941 under the command of what is it? Captain Lieutenant Fallschirmjägers. The operational area was the Eastern Mediterranean. Okay, form this U-boat. Okay. Eastern Mediterranean. Is that on the map or in the production queue? Just from where it is, it may be on the map. Nope. This is presuming we have Mediterranean ports. Okay, our invasion fleet is coming. Actually, you guys do need to be over here. Okay, and we're going to take this opportunity to end the episode here. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. And, of course, if you haven't already, Please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see you around more often. And if you can want to maybe follow me over on Twitch, catch some of the live actions. I mostly stream on Saturdays. I say Saturdays because it's Saturday mornings for me, but it might be some other time. Globe is round, and got people from India and Taiwan that are routinely watching, as well as other parts of the world. So love to see you there. And of course, please post comments, suggestions, questions, corrections. I love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.